And as we continue to bring you the very latest on issues surrounding Africa Climate Summit that is continuing in Nairobi, just what are some of the issues that ought to be discussed? Our very own Noah is on the field and following up for us.
A very good afternoon to you, Aseto, right here, as you've rightly put it, Africa Climate Summit 2023. And it's important, first of all, we are at the display center. A lot of display here, but I'll start with this particular booth where, you know, when we talk about climate action, is about SDGs. And here we have some of the key SDGs that are related to climate action, other than SDG number 13 for climate action, very critical. We also have SDG number 12, responsible consumption and production. And this is very critical in terms of how we utilize resources, how we consume, and even to link that to SDG number 14, life below water. When you're talking about aquaculture, we've had cases of overfishing. How can we be able to balance and utilize the natural resources that we have to make sure that we are having a balanced world? At the same time, we have here affordable and clean energy. And remember, when you talk about climate change, energy is at the core of it. Now, as a country, Aseto, I must tell you that we've made progress when it comes to having renewable sources. Almost over 90% of our grid and our energy is from renewable sources. So we've made strides in that regard. But the question is, there's always a better way of improvement, and there's always loopholes. For example, right now, the issue about energy is about also affordability, which is also very critical in this regard. So when we talk about climate action, the mitigations that we are making, are they making our lives better in a way, making energy cleaner, but not only cleaner, but also affordable for Kenyans and for Africans at large? So this is the foundational issue of SDGs and how we marry into that. The globe has long been divided into, global north and global south. And for the longest time, the global south has felt disenfranchised in a way. So starting the Africa Climate Summit, of course, powered by the African Union, becomes very critical in regards to leveling the ground and having engagement. So both the north and the south, as President William Ruto has put it, coming together and working together in synergy to make sure that we are improving in that regard. And something interesting here, Seto, talking about renewability. There is a couch here that is kind of interesting, and sorry, she was taking photos, but this seems like a very hard seat. I don't know. Let me see. This is made of bottles, so it's about recycling. Yeah, and remember, our oceans are polluted with plenty of plastics. When you talk about utilizing our resources and recycling, plastic is at the core of that conversation. And here we have a good example of a couch made of plastic, Aseto. I don't know whether you can consider this to have this in your house, because it's very comfortable, I must tell you. So you won't just be having comfort in your home, but also you will be a critical pillar when it comes to, sustainability discussion. So you don't just use your bottle and throw it away. You use it and think about reusing it in a different format, like making couches and whatnot. So this is what is on.
Thank you, Noah. And yes, indeed, about that couch, I must be having a better pillow, as rightfully said. But now let's go to Beldin Waliaula, who's equally following on what is happening on Africa Climate Summit. I think that she should be at Radisson Blue. Beldin Waliaula, take it away.
Thank you so much. I'm here at Radisson Blue, where climate conversation is going on, where we have climate action zone led by Alliance for Science, where they're talking about how we can have sustainable agriculture in the country, how we can end poverty, how we can end hunger in the African continent. Just this comes after the Horn of Africa has experienced prolonged drought, where millions have been displaced. And at the moment, I'm being joined by Dr. Sheila Chokbuju, the Director of Alliance for Science in the Global South. Dr. Sheila, welcome. And just a little bit, share with us what is happening here, what is Climate Action Zone, and why should we care about it?
Yes, we are very excited to be able to curate this zone, the Climate Action Zone, to support what's happening in the high-level sessions in the Africa Climate Summit. It's a critical moment for Africa where the world is really listening to us. And so we want to make sure that we have enough space to amplify voices, farmers' voices, children's voices, women's voices, because climate change affects everybody, but it affects us all differently. And the actions that we need to take to get us over the line to reach our SDGs are very specific and very contextual. So everything can't be said in KICC because they're world leaders and they have major declarations to sign. But we can create a space for others to have their moment. So that's what we've done at Alliance for Science. And today we have farmers talking about improved inputs in terms of seeds, mechanizations, etc., policies. We are also working with the Children's Climate Summit, who have a declaration, so we're excited about that. We have a hands-on biotech project with schools. They're coming in tomorrow. So it's an inclusive zone, a fun zone, very much focused on action.
Thank you so much. And maybe for you, why do you think this African Climate Summit has come at the right time?
Because we're halfway through our global goals, it's a moment of pause. Like if you're running a race, when you get halfway through is when you begin to wane. You need that second win. You need something to say, I need to make it to the finish. So this is the moment where Africa provides the second win to the world to say, we need to get to the global goals. And so we think we can do that because we're the most vulnerable. It's important for us that we win the race. So we're pushing the leaders to make commitments.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sheila. And I'll be speaking to my clients. Kindly join me if you can, sir. Welcome to KTN News.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
You are an environmentalist, and from your observation, do you think we are on track to mitigate climate change in Africa?
Well, this Africa Climate Summit and the discussions here in the climate zone really are coming at a crucial time because we know that we're running out of climate space now to meet the 1.5 degree goal that was agreed in Paris in 2015. To achieve that goal and to keep climate damages from escalating really beyond our control into the climate emergency, we need to cut emissions of greenhouse gases globally by nearly 50% by the end of this decade. Now, that's not on track to happen, and we're now looking forward to yet another COP28 it's going to be,